This presentation is designed to help you understand the assignments required for EDU 2240. When you open the portal in the course, you will see this page first. So you will be able to access the syllabus on the left, the course information. The day 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is where you'll find all the explanations, the videos, and the resource links. If you open coursework, that's where you're going to turn in your performance assessment, and you can see your grade if you open Gradebook. If you need to email the professor or any other peers within the class, you'll find those email links under email. First, let's talk about the discussion forums. Each day you will have a discussion forum except day 5, and they are located on the days of the assignments. You can find those days numbered over on the left. Usually the forums are located right underneath the videos that have been posted. In order to access the forum, you must click on the blue word Forums. Then the discussion forum will open up and may look something like this. This is the day 1 forum, so it actually has 2 discussion forums that are required. When you open those discussion forums, you will be able to see all of the directions clearly. So this is what it looks like when you open the discussion forum. You see the paragraph at the top tells you the directions, and then you can add a post by clicking that blue button. You will not be able to reply to anyone else's posts until you have posted your own. These forums are post first. You must post your own initial discussion of the prompt, then you will be able to reply to those in the class. The assignments are divided up into 2 categories: online comprehensive assessments and then performance assessments. So the performance assessments we're going to discuss on another slide. The online comprehensive assessments you will be able to access directly from coursework. Look for coursework on the left of your screen, click into coursework, and go under the day that you want to see the comprehensive assessment. When you see it, you'll be able to click on it. It's not open right now, that's why the due dates are covered, but when the course opens, it will be a live link that you can click into and take the assessment. Each assessment is 1 hour. You are given 1 hour to complete it. They vary in their number of questions. You will want to read everything that's given as the resources and watch the videos before you take the assessment, because you will not have time to go back and search for all of the answers in order to complete the assessment on time. The next type of assessments that you will have are the performance assessments, and these are things that you actually participate in and you talk about. And again, you upload those, so you're actually going to attach a document there, except for the forums. But most of the activities you will attach a document, and so you will click on wherever it says the activity that you need to turn in, and you will have an upload button where you will upload. And I believe there are 2 steps to do this, so make sure you hit the final submit at the end. So now let's talk about day 1. So day 1 has a video, the overview of emergent literacy and phonological awareness. So make sure you watch the video, watch it a few times, get the idea of what is talked about as kind of an introduction for your readings. You also have 2 forums on that day. You have some readings that are posted in the syllabus and on the page in the portal, and so those are live links. You should be able to click right on them, and read the resources that I have prepared for you. Day 1, your assignments include the 2 discussion forums, the Emergent Literacy and Phonological Awareness Assessment, Phonological Awareness Activities, and a handwriting demonstration. This is a snapshot of where you will turn in the assignments. You just have to open coursework over on the left, and you will be able to see this under Day 1. In the portal, on Day 1, down at the bottom, scroll all the way down, you will find 2 handouts. These handouts are for the performance assessments. So the first one is the handwriting assessment. If you click on it and download, it is a paragraph that you will need to copy and write in both print and manuscript. So you'll have 2 paragraphs that you're going to turn in your own handwriting. The Phonological Awareness Activities paper is a graphic organizer that you will work on to complete this assignment. So both of those are provided for you at the bottom of the page in the portal on Day 1. Here is the handwriting assessment paragraph. So you're going to handwrite the paragraph 2 times, one in print, one in cursive. Scan the paragraphs and submit to coursework under the handwriting assessment. And then this is a snapshot of the graphic organizer for phonological awareness. So you're going to prepare 2 phonological awareness activities based upon the video and the readings that you do. Something that, if you would like, would work in your own classroom, working with either a whole group or with children that struggle with phonological awareness, or if you teach more in an upper grade and this would not apply to you, then just create an activity that would work in the lower grades. You're going to provide a description of the activity, the instruction of the activity, support that you would provide for ELL students and those with disabilities, and then what are the intended learning outcomes. So 2 activities. Moving on to Day 2, again, you have a video on the overview of phonics. Make sure that you watch that in its entirety, and you have a discussion forum. In addition to that, there are many resources that I've provided under phonics that will give you a very broad-based knowledge and help you to understand phonics instruction. You have 4 assignments due today on Day 2, the discussion forum, a phonics assessment, phonics lesson plan, and an English grammar activity, which is an assessment that you will take. The phonics lesson plan I will continue to describe on some subsequent slides. Make sure that you have accessed all the resources and read and viewed everything before you attempt the phonics assessment. I have provided down at the end of the portal page on Day 2 2 pieces of information. The lesson planning packet is a zip file, and it has the template and other documents that you will need to complete the lesson plan. And then I've also provided a lesson plan example. It is not a phonics example because I didn't want that to be just copied. It is an example of how a lesson plan is written. Now we know, believe me, we know, I've been in the classroom, I've been in education for 32 years, I spent 23 years in the classroom. We know that you do not write every lesson plan as thoroughly as what we're going to ask you to do. But we're asking you to put all your thoughts on paper so that we can see your thinking process behind all of the planning and then give you any feedback that is necessary. So this lesson plan is quite detailed. Here's what it looks like, the lesson plan. I'm just going to walk you through it. So you will need to choose your Florida standards and then write your student achievement objective and then what your summative assessment will be. Your ESOL strategies, you can choose the ESOL strategies from the ESOL strategies paper that's in the lesson planning packet. You will need both the code and the description, and then tell me how many ELL students that you have, what stage they would be in. If you're curious about the stages and you don't know those, there's also a document in the lesson planning packet that explains the stages of ELL students and how they are expected to progress. You will need to list your materials and any vocabulary necessary for the students to understand your lesson. Then you will give an introduction to the lesson. Script this out. I want to know what you are going to say to introduce the lesson. Remember, it should be very short. The directions are on the left side of the lesson plan. You're also going to write higher order questions and activities. There are also documents both in the resources and in the lesson planning packet on higher order questions and activities. Next, you will move to your instruction. Again, script this out. Let me know how you are going to model and explain your phonics skill that you are teaching. This is a continuation of the instruction. If you want to put a picture of something that you might use in your classroom to help you to teach the particular phonics skill, then you can just capture that picture and place it right in the plan. You have your higher order questions and then your differentiation for ELL students. So you're going to choose whether you're differentiating by content, process, or product. You don't need to do all three, but just so we know that you know the difference between them. Guided practice. This is where the students are going to work in pairs or in small groups to receive feedback from both their peers and from you as the teacher. Again, script this out. Tell me what you're going to say, what you're going to describe, and put any pertinent documents in there that will help me understand the details of guided practice. This is also a part of guided practice. You're going to fill in your higher order questions. And then how are you going to formatively assess your students? How will you know that they are understanding what you are teaching? That belongs in formative assessment and then your differentiated instruction for your ELL students. Next, we move on to independent practice. The students are now going to work independently so that you as the teacher can see if they have mastered what you have taught. So again, be very specific, and you have your differentiation for your ELL students. Then you have your wrap-up. Moving into wrap-up, how are you going to close the lesson and review the skill? It's not just what is your favorite part of the lesson, what have you learned today, but instead it's getting down to the nitty-gritty of the standard that you addressed. You have some higher order questions within that. And then we just want to know what were your resources for the development and implementation of the lesson. So that's the lesson plan, and you will find the template in the lesson planning packet. You are going to choose a phonics skill. You will know the phonics skills after you look at all of the resources and the video that have been provided. So here are your Day 2 assignments again, your discussion forum, your grammar syntax assessment, the phonics assessment, and the phonics lesson plan. So open coursework, go to Day 2, and you will find all of these. So the lesson plan is the only thing that needs to be uploaded. The discussion forum is in Day 2, and the other two are your comprehensive assessments that you will take here on the portal. Moving on to Day 3, you're going to be covering both fluency and vocabulary. So there is a video for both of those, fluency and vocabulary, and you have a discussion forum for today. These are your resources for both vocabulary and fluency. Please, please, please read them carefully. It is important that you understand the major components of reading as we move forward. There are quite a few of them. This is a pretty big day, so spend some time in each of these resources. Today you have a discussion forum, a vocabulary fluency assessment, vocabulary interactive centers, there are 2 of them, and 1 fluency activity. Here's the graphic organizer for the vocabulary centers. You will find that at the bottom of the Day 3 page in the portal. So you're going to create 2 centers or a description of 2 centers that you could do in the classroom with your students using vocabulary words, preferably domain-specific words. So in the first box, you're going to put the words and their meanings. What is the grade level for this? Write a description of the game or activity that you're going to have them do. And then what is the oral language component of the activity, and what is the written language component of the activity? 2 activities. The fluency activity is just 1 activity. You are going to choose a book that you are going to do a fluency activity with your class or small group. The grade level, what's the group that you chose, and then what is the fluency instructional strategy? So what was the purpose? Why did you choose this particular strategy? So it should be matched to both the target group and to the type of book that you chose. So 1 fluency activity. You will find these graphic organizers down on the bottom of Day 3. Here are Day 3 assignments. You have the vocabulary discussion, fluency activity, vocabulary and fluency assessment, and the vocabulary interactive centers. On Day 4, we are covering both comprehension and oral language, because oral language doesn't always stand alone, but instead is wrapped up in the other major components of reading. Here are your videos. You also have a discussion forum today. Here are the resources for both comprehension and oral language. Be sure that you read them thoroughly so that you're prepared for the assessment and for the lesson plan that you are going to be writing. There are 3 assignments due today: the discussion forum, the comprehension and oral language assessment, and the comprehension and oral language lesson plan. So I'm not going to go through the lesson plan completely again because I discussed it in Day 2 with the phonics lesson plan, but you are now going to write a lesson plan that has to do with comprehension and oral language. So follow the template and use what you've learned about comprehension and oral language through the videos and the other resources that were provided. You will find the lesson planning packet and the lesson plan example down on the bottom of page 4, again just like on Day 2. Day 4 assignments, this is what it looks like. Again, go to coursework, access that. You will be able to upload your lesson plan, and the discussion forum is in the actual page on Day 4, and then the assessment will be accessed right here. You only have 1 assignment due on Day 5. You do not have a discussion forum, but you have the Integrated Reading Components project. Please access the resources, and you will also need the resources from the other days because you are going to be integrating all of the reading components: phonological awareness, phonics, fluency, vocabulary, comprehension, and oral language within this project. So the Integrated Reading Components project, again, is a PowerPoint presentation. So I encourage you to go to the syllabus and look for the details, but I've summarized them here. Things that you will need to provide evidence of. you are going to choose 2 texts that you would use in your classroom. Now, these particular ideas on this PowerPoint would certainly not be done in one day, and maybe not even be done in 1 week, but it could be done over the course of a couple of weeks if you're doing maybe a novel or some type of book in your classroom that you are going to bring other books in. For example, in my classroom, many times we read a historical fiction book, and then I would bring in fictional biography books to supplement and give the actual facts of the historical situation that was mentioned in the historical fiction book. And it would take us about 3 weeks or so to go through the entire idea of the lesson that I had. So that idea is what I want you to put on these PowerPoint slides, showing evidence of these things that are bulleted here. I've provided 2 project examples for you down on the bottom of page 5. So go ahead and access those and watch and listen to them, and they will give you an idea of what I am expecting. Again, you only have 1 assignment on day 5, and that's the Integrated Reading Components project.